Guys, it's Cryo here, back with another video. And today, as you can see, we are in Minecraft. In particular, we're going to be talking about Netherite. Maybe some theories as to what it might be. Actually wearing Netherite armor. But here's Netherite blocks, Netherite ore, Netherite ingots. Today, we'll find out what it's made of, as I said. Well, you may think that's obvious. Gold and Netherite scrap alloyed together, right? We're going to find out what Netherite scrap is made of then. Number one, what are the properties of Netherite? Well, we know it's very dense, based on the crafting recipe and the fact that its armor gives you knockback. It's extremely hard. That's pretty obvious. And it's very resistant to heat. It can survive being dropped in lava, which means its melting point is at least probably around 2,200 degrees or 1,200 degrees Celsius. 2,200 degrees being Fahrenheit. Well, iron's melting point is like 2,600, 2,700 degrees Fahrenheit, so it should be able to survive. But iron reacts with oxygen at those temperatures. It rusts away very quickly. It basically burns. Which also means that netherite needs to be very corrosion resistant, even at those high temperatures. And it's made of an alloy, made of gold. So gold is soft and has a low melting point, so clearly, netherite strength and heat resistance must come from netherite scrap. Gold is very corrosion resistant though, and it's malleable. I mean, you can beat it into a sheet. It doesn't break easily. So netherite scrap is probably also similar. So basically, netherite scrap, what we are looking for is, well, that's what this periodic table is for, by the way. We're looking for a metal, because it's clearly some kind of metal. Hard, malleable, has a melting point over 2,200 degrees Fahrenheit or 1,200 degrees Celsius, and is very rare because netherite's very rare and is corrosion resistant at high temperatures. It also needs to occur naturally and be relatively stable. It could be radioactive, but if netherite scrap does turn out to be radioactive, it's probably only going to be a little bit radioactive. So it also needs to be possible to alloy it with gold. First off, we are going to eliminate elements that are already in Minecraft. They're their own thing, and therefore clearly not netherite. They're already something separate. Carbon, in the form of diamond and coal. Iron. Copper is being added in the new update, so there's another way to rule it out. Gold, clearly that's the other component of netherite ingots. Yeah. Next up, we're going to get rid of everything that is either doesn't occur naturally or does occur naturally but is still pretty unstable. And is therefore too unstable to be netherite, therefore. That was deliberate. Technetium is a random radioactive, not naturally occurring element sitting in the middle of the periodic table where it kind of shouldn't be. So is promethium. I broke the wrong one. Neodymium. No, that's neon. So those are the lanthanides, and then we're going to get pretty much every actinide except for thorium and uranium, believe it or not. See why in a bit. Oh, and what's also, while we're at it, get rid of these three. Now we're left with a pretty whole punched periodic table. We took out an entire row and almost an entire other row. Because they're too radioactive to be of much use. Next up, Netherite is clearly some kind of metal, which means we can say goodbye to hydrogen, all of the noble gases, all of the halogens, all of these, many of those are gases anyways. These. And what we're left with is this. Now we're going to go by melting point. These are the alkali metals. They all have pretty low melting points. Some will melt if you hold them, but don't do that because they're so not radioactive, but they're so reactive that they explode when they touch air, or they catch fire, or they explode when they get wet. The melting point we can also eliminate. Aluminum, gallium, it also melts in your hand, but unlike many of those on the very end, won't explode. Indium, tin, these three. Mercury's melting point is so low that it's liquid at room temperature. For that, we can also get rid of these. Silver, too. I'm going to look at these, the alkali earths, in a periodic table book I have. Many of them are probably too low. Alright, beryllium stays in. Magnesium definitely does not. I can tell that calcium probably won't. Calcium is going bye-bye. So it's strontium and barium. Basically, the only one of these still left is beryllium. Next up, we're going to try these transition metals. Scandium stays. Titanium stays. So I'm just going to only announce the ones that go goodbye. I'm flipping through the periodic table book. Well, we've already eliminated copper, actually. Come back to yttrium. Will we eliminate it? The answer is no. Silver has already been taken out for some reason. Oh, right. Yeah, I already knew it. Then forgot again. But silver is below the melting point. Skip over to hafnium. Flipping on the periodic table book. I already know that tungsten will stay. Its melting point is ridiculous. Look at these heavy metals have very high melting points. Now I'm just going to check on the rare earths. Lanthanum's melting point is too low. Cerium. Praseodymium. Neodymium. And then we move on to samarium. Europium. Both are notes. Gadolinium is actually going to stay. Terbium, dysprosium. Melting points is slowly creeping up. But then we get down to ytterbium. And no. Finally, I just want to check on thorium and uranium. Uranium's melting point is too low. So these are remaining contestants. For the remaining attributes. Check that it's metal. A lot of these metals are probably pretty hard. I'm pretty sure that beryllium is actually kind of brittle. Or metal. Rare metals. Ooh, this is gonna kick out a bunch. So titanium in the crust is actually not that rare. It's just kind of hard to extract from ore. Can't find anything on vanadium, but probably not rare enough. I'm only looking for the really rare ones. Chromium isn't, manganese isn't, cobalt and nickel aren't yttrium. I'm not so sure about that one, though. I don't know. Something tells me that yttrium is definitely not this. It also needs to be alloyable with gold. And be corrosion resistant. You know, a lot of these that are remaining are pretty corrosion resistant. Except for you. They also need to be dense, very dense, at least as dense as gold. Probably. Because we know that netherite is very dense. The density of gold is 19.3 grams per cubic centimeter. Sounding like a bit of chemistry, but I'm trying to figure out what netherite is. Narrowed it down a lot. It's not scandium, titanium, or vanadium, but we've already eliminated the entire top row. Zirconium is hard, not dense enough. We're going to be eliminating a lot of metals here. Ruthenium is an interesting one, and it's one that I do want to keep my eye on. It's actually a dark for a metal, and actually looks like netherite, but I don't think it's dense enough. We may accidentally kick out too many of them. Basically, these elements are typically alloyed with gold. Palladium, platinum, silver, and copper. We've already eliminated silver and copper for their melting points. Oh, there's also nickel, manganese, and chromium. We've eliminated those for how common they are. Tungsten is very dense and has an almost ridiculously high melting point, but it's probably not it. And I don't think it's all that rare either. I think we're just narrowing it down to these. And though iridium is very rare, I know it's safe to say that it's none of these rare earths. And there goes platinum on accident. But if we actually look, see that out of all the ones we've covered, platinum is the only one denser than gold. So platinum, prospect of netherite being platinum is actually pretty cool. And I have seen some speculation that that might actually be what netherite scrap is. It will inspire me to make this video. And there's evidence to back it up. Platinum is dense, it's extremely corrosion resistant, right next to golden periodic table actually. Higher melting points. Around 3,000 degrees Fahrenheit. I like doing this, by the way. So satisfying, but on off tangent. Platinum gold alloys. Some have been created that are actually extremely tough. Even though gold is soft, alloys can be interesting things. But I think we have it. Palladium is rare, it can be alloyed with gold, relatively dense. Platinum is also very rare, it's also very corrosion resistant. It can be alloyed with gold, it's much denser, has a higher melting point. I think we found our case for platinum to be netherite. So from now on in my videos, I'm just going to call netherite platinum. Netherite scrap. If you've seen this video, you now know what I will be saying if I say I'm going to the nether to mine some platinum in a Minecraft video. Oh, it's just so satisfying. You know, I really should stop and basically carving a big hole in the world. Looks like a canoe, kind of. And finally, what I'm just going to do is take all the netherite stuff and chuck it in the lava just to demonstrate. And I'm on fire. With some other platinum group metals, but I've actually seen evidence that it could be platinum based on the appearance of actual platinum gold alloys. Basically, there were some other contenders that I briefly covered. Netherite sinks in lava, at least in this lava. Maybe it was carried down by the current or something like that. I don't know. But I think that's all for this video. We've basically figured out what netherite is. It's platinum, and we'll do gold in Minecraft. Or maybe some platinum-like metal. It's less known. Alright, in Bedrock Edition, you can survive being in the void. Very nice. I am just going to do one last thing. Do this. Repeat. I'm just going to do that. I start to get a bit laggy. They're like sliding off the command block. But I think that's all for this video, and be sure to like and subscribe, and yeah.